Hi, my name is Christian Loyer from i-nexus, and today I will present you how you can better manage your DMAIC project in i-nexus. But first of all, I want to present how you would typically manage a Lean Six Sigma program. As an ex-deployment leader myself, I would typically have two folders, one that covers my Lean activities and one that covers my Six Sigma program. Under the Lean program folder, for sake of completeness, I would have activities like safety activities, 5S projects, standard work project, visual management, waste reduction, and so on and so forth. And each one of those folders would have projects and activities files related to those programs. Under the Six Sigma program, I would typically have 1, 2, 3, sometimes up to 4 and 5 programs, and each one of those programs would have a set of projects. Program 1, Project 1, for example, would then have its own structure with define, measure, analyze, improve, control folders. Under the define phase, you would have the templates that would be required for the black belts to complete. Eventually, as an ex-deployment leader, I also used a tool called SharePoint, and I would put those folders and files in SharePoint. However, this was a very challenging way of managing project documentation. First of all, when I was at the top level, in this case, the Lean Six Sigma program, I couldn't see the files attached to every single project. Also, once I was inside a project, I could not see, for example, if one of those 4 files had been completed. I could not see if those files were mandatory or not mandatory for the black belts to complete. Also, another issue that I was facing as a deployment leader when going into the files of the different projects is knowing which template had been completed and which ones had not been completed. Another issue for myself and also the black belts managing their DMAIC project was the fact that we couldn't see all the files at one glance. We had to open every single folder to see what files were included in the define phase and then do exactly the same for measure, analyze, improve, and control. The final issue with managing DMAIC files with this folder structure or on SharePoint is that it tells the black belts which templates to use, but it doesn't necessarily tell them what steps they need to take in order to get to those templates. So as you can see, managing your DMAIC projects in this folder structure or on SharePoint is feasible, but it is what I call heavy lifting and does not necessarily give a full view of what a black belt should do in a DMAIC project. And so what I will do now is take you into i-nexus tool to show you exactly how we can manage, first of all, a project methodology like DMAIC, and then the files and folders related to that project. I am now inside i-nexus, and as you can see, there are 3 breakthrough objectives that this corporation is working on. What we will do now is identify or create a new project for breakthrough objective number 1, improve on-time delivery from 70% to 99% by the end of the year. And so I will go into the new project section of i-nexus, and as you will be able to see, when I hover on top of new project, I have a list of project methodologies that appear. I will select Six Sigma DMAIC because I will create a DMAIC project for this objective. The first project that has been agreed to improve on-time delivery is to reduce back orders by 50%. We will not enter all the information related to the project as we are just building an example, but there are plenty of screens here that can give you the basics of project chartering. I will now click on Finish to create the project. You will now be able to see the project under breakthrough objective number 1, which is improve on-time delivery from 70% to 99%, as we mentioned earlier. If you click on the plus sign here, you will see that reduce back orders by 50% now appears as a project. What I will do now is click on the drop-down menu next to the project title, and we will see a list of different functionalities that i-nexus offers for project management. For example, the project charter is the first item. We have journal entries, schedule, financial management, resource management, metrics management, risk and issues, documents, workflow, task, and so on and so forth. But what I want to show you first is the project schedule aspect. If you click on the project schedule, you will see a project schedule appear for that specific project, reduce backorder by 50%, and we will see the full schedule. Here, as opposed to the folder structure I showed you earlier, you will be able to see steps within the define phase, what steps we want the black belts to take for define, for measure, analyze, improve, and control. The steps that you have within each of the phases, in this case here define, are the ones suggested by i-nexus. However, you can fully customize those steps. So this is how we take care of project methodology in i-nexus. Now let's have a look at how we manage the files. For every single step here, we can attach a file that is specifically related to one of the steps. For example, for this step within define, which is express business problem in process term, clarifying scope, inputs, and outputs, we have a document template called the SciPoc. The SciPoc is attached to the document template column, meaning that we want the black belt to complete this template. If you open the file, we can simply click on SciPoc in this case, and it will download the template for the black belt. Right now, I'm working in i-nexus as if I was a template. The SciPoc template appears. I can open it up and start modifying the content of the SciPoc. Together with my team, I identify the suppliers, input, process, output, and customers. I will just make a change here and put A, B, C within supplier and save this into my desktop. Once saved, the file can be found in the download folder of your hard drive, and you can then add the document in this column here and writing the title of the project, some document abstract or narrative to explain what the file is about, and choose the file and attach it to the project. And as you can see, the SciPoc has moved from being a template to being a document, meaning that document has been completed, as opposed to voice of customer for this step here that is still not completed. We will now do exactly the same with voice of the customer. I will download the file, open it, edit the content, and save it in the same manner as I did for the SciPoc. So we have at least 2 files for this project to look at. So as you can see now, we have 2 templates that have been completed, the SciPoc and the voice of the customer. You will remember one of the issues that I mentioned in terms of managing your project files in a DMAIC project with a folders structure is the inability to see all the documents at once. Of course, here we have completed 2 documents in the define phase, but if you would have additional documents in the measure, analyze, improve, and control phase, this would be applicable. You have a section here called Documents. If you click on the documents of your project, you will see in one single place all the different documents that have been attached to this specific project, making it very easy to find a document if you want a helicopter view, or in this case, if you are searching by phases, go back into the schedule of the project and be able to find which files have been completed by phase. If the files have not been completed, it will still appear in the template column, meaning that the black belt has not completed those files. So this is how you manage your documents within i-nexus and how you can ensure that every single black belt follows the methodology that you want them to follow by presetting which activities happen in each of the phases of a DMAIC project. Thank you very much for listening. I wish you the best success in the execution of your DMAIC projects.